नमस्कार आज्ञा नमस्कार प्रभु जय जगन्नाथ। आज अनेक शिक्षक बंधु जो माने OSSTET परीक्षा देवा पाई प्रस्तुत होउचंती सेमानक अनुरोध क्रमे आज आम आलोचना करने जाऊँ जे प्रश्न विश्लेषण कार्यक्रम एक नूतन धारावाहिक कार्यक्रम। जदिओ although I am suffering from pharyngitis, my voice may not be audible, still then I would try my best to make good presentation for your clarity and study, for clear understanding. Okay, so we have taken a question from your previous exam. This question was asked in the previous year's exam. We don't know in which year it was set. We have collected this question from your OSST question, previous year's question paper. Okay, let's read the question. Learning is an association. Okay, here the key point. Learning is an association between stimulus and here is a dash. There is no dash is given. You see, the paper setter or the question setter is very careless. Under the first line, actually, this is called a stem, question stem. It is in statement form, not in question form. Okay, but here a word is to be substituted, is to be filled in by the candidate. So 4 options are given. जाको हमें कहो विकल्प उत्तर। ये विकल्प उत्तर कौन दैट एनिमल, पास्ट एक्सपीरियंस, रेस्पॉन्स एंड बिहेवियर। गोटे 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 पर आलोचना करवा। जदि बंधु देखुथिबे कि देखिबे से जानी परिबे जे आमे केते बड़ त्रुटि करूछु। एसोसिएशन बिटवीन स्टिमुलस, स्टिमुलस ओडिया कोन आज्ञा उद्दीपक एवं मन रखंतु स्टिमुलस सिंगुलर तार प्लुरल स्टिमुली एवं एंड स्टिमुलस यदि होउछन गोटिए ताले एटी रेस्पॉन्स आसीबो गोटिए से एया उत्तर करछन। किंतु एटी मनरे प्रश्न उठुची, बहुत परीक्षार्थी मध्य पचारिछंती, अनेक शिक्षक माने मध्य जुक्ति दर्शाइछंती जे एनिमल हो स्टिमुलस सहित एनिमल की संपर्क नाही। ओके, ये पास्ट एक्सपीरियंस ताको हम कहे पूर्व अनुभूति जाको वी हैव ऑलरेडी एक्युमुलेटेड। तेणु ये पास्ट एक्सपीरियंस ताको प्रीवियस नॉलेज और प्रायर नॉलेज सहित जो न्यू नॉलेज मिसी जाए ताको कौन कह जाए आसिमिलेशन। ओके, ताले ये कौन हो पारिबो नहीं। लर्निंग इज एन एसोसिएशन बिटवीन स्टिमुलस एंड पास्ट एक्सपीरियंस। यदि स्टिमुलस है उद्दीपक अर्थात नूतन ज्ञान नुआ करी आहरण करा ज्ञान एवं पूर्वार्जित ज्ञान मध्य समन्वय कौन करा जाए ना आसिमिलेशन। ये मध्य गोटे थ्योरी अच्छी आसिमिलेशन एंड अकोमोडेशन आपण जानते ये भी गोटे उत्तर हो पार देखो। तेणु केते खामखियाली भाव में ये जो डिस्ट्रैक्टर्स कह जाए ऑप्शंस बा चॉइसेस को सेट करा जाइए। कहीं करा जाइए ता हमें ये आलोचना आपन को जल जल ही बारी पड़ो। देखो बिहेवियर इज रेस्पॉन्स इज नॉट एन बिहेवियर, इज रेस्पॉन्स इज नॉट ए बिहेवियर। ओके, सो रे स्टिमुलस उद्दीपक एंड बिहेवियर आचरण। तेणु रेस्पॉन्स बिहेवियर आचरण ताले बंधु उत्तर करते निश्चित यहाँ उत्तर कौ दृष्टि उत्तर हम ताको आम व्याख्या करवा उपस्थापन करुचु। एक दीर्घ वीडियो हो पारे ये आंसर ऑफ स्टिमुलस एंड रिस्पॉन्स कि यहाँ कहीं हम आमर जुक्ति रेस्पॉन्स इज सेम एज बिहेवियर। किंतु क्वेश्चन टी जो कले जो स्टेम टी तैयारी कले जो कह जाए स्टेटमेंट टी तैयारी कले से स्टेटमेंट त्रुटि रही जावा फल ये गुड़िक सब अड़ुआ करदेला। बर्तमान 3टी उत्तर आसूची कहतु किंतु ସାଧାରଣ ଦୃଷ୍ଟିକୋଣ ଦେଖିଲେ ଯେଉଁଟା କୁହାଯାଏ ଆପଣଙ୍କର ସ୍ଥୂଳ ଦୃଷ୍ଟିକୋଣରୁ ବା ସୂକ୍ଷ୍ମ ଦୃଷ୍ଟିକୋଣରୁ ଇମିଡ଼ିଏଟ୍ ପରସେପ୍ସନ୍ରୁ ଆମେ ଷ୍ଟିମୁଲେସନ୍ ରେସ୍ପନ୍ସ କିନ୍ତୁ why not behavior? Here question arises. Why not behavior? And why not past experience? ମୁଁ ବନ୍ଧୁକୁ ଏଠି ପ୍ରଶ୍ନ ପଚାରୁଛି କାହିଁକି ନ ହେଇପାରିବ ଟିକେ ଯଦି ଥାଏ ତାଙ୍କ ପାଖରେ କିଛି ଯୁକ୍ତି ତାହେଲେ ଭିଡ଼ିଓ ମାଧ୍ୟମରେ ଜଣାଇବେ କି ଆମ କମେଣ୍ଟ ବକ୍ସରେ ଜଣାଇବେ। ଦେଖନ୍ତୁ ପ୍ରଥମେ ଆମେ ଆଲୋଚନା କରିବା ଲର୍ଣ୍ଣିଂର ଡେଫିନେସନ୍ ସଂଜ୍ଞା। ସେଇଠୁ ଆମେ ପର୍ଯ୍ୟାୟ ଯିବା ସେ ତା'ର ବିଭିନ୍ନ ଥିଓରି ଅଛି କିଭଳି ଭାବରେ ଆମେ এই ଶିକ୍ଷଣଟି କ'ଣ ହୁଏ ନା ମାନେ ଘଟେ ଏ ଶିକ୍ଷଣଟା କିଭଳି ସାଧିତ ହୋଇଥାଏ। ତାହେଲେ ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ଦେଖିବା ଶିକ୍ଷଣ ଡେଫିନେସନ୍ ବା ସଂଜ୍ଞା କୁହାଯାଏ। ସିମ୍ପଲ୍ ଲର୍ଣ୍ଣିଂ ଇଜ୍ ଏ ପ୍ରୋସେସ୍ ଇଟ୍ ବ୍ରିଙ୍ଗ୍ସ ଚେଞ୍ଜେସ୍ these changes are behavioral changes, okay, and these changes are due to the effects of growth, maturation, heredity, environment, training, practice, education, influence, interaction, etc. So these are the factors, they play a vital role in the learning process. So learning is an active process, is a continuous process, and is a process of modification of behavior. Okay, and when learning is a process of modification of behavior, why not behavior here? Okay, and here is another factor. These are called actually impeding factors or distracting factors. These factors affect adversely the learning process. These factors are not due to fatigue, means after hard work, one feel bored, fatigue, okay. Intoxication, taking alcohol, okay, that is ethyl alcohol, and reflex action, that is actually involuntary action, uncontrolled action, the action taken by the spinal cord, and the decision is not taken by the brain, only information is sent to the brain, that is reflex action. So these are the negative factors to the learning process, okay. So now the definition part is clear, and the definition, from the definition we get the clear picture that stimulus and behavior, and এটা ଟିକେ ଭଲ ଶୁଭୁଛି ତ ଷ୍ଟିମୁଲେସନ୍ ରେସ୍ପନ୍ସ ନା ତାର ଟିକେ ଗୁମର କଥା ଅଛି। ଷ୍ଟିମୁଲେସନ୍ ରେସ୍ପନ୍ସ ଉତ୍ତର ହେବ, କିନ୍ତୁ କ'ଣ ତ୍ରୁଟି ଅଛି ତାକୁ ଆମେ ଟିକେ ବଖାଣି ଦେବା, ଠିକ୍ ଅଛି। ତାହେଲେ ଏଇ ଯେଉଁ ବିହେଭିଅରରେ ଯେଉଁ ପରିବର୍ତ୍ତନ ଘଟୁଛି, ଏଇ ଯେଉଁ ପରିବର୍ତ୍ତନ ଗୁଣାତ୍ମକ ପରିବର୍ତ୍ତନ, ଏ ଯେଉଁ ଆଚରଣରେ ଯେଉଁ ପରିବର୍ତ୍ତନ ଘଟୁଛି ତା ପାଇଁ କେତେଜଣ କ'ଣ ମନୋବିଜ୍ଞାନୀ ସେମାନେ ପରୀକ୍ଷା କରିଛନ୍ତି। ସେ ପରୀକ୍ଷା କରି ସେ ଯେଉଁ ତତ୍ତ୍ୱ ଯେଉଁ ଥିଓରି ଗୁଡ଼ିକୁ ଏକ୍ସପ୍ଲେନ୍ କରିଛନ୍ତି, ସେ ଥିଓରି ଗୁଡ଼ିକୁ ଆପଣଙ୍କ ଆଗରେ ଉପସ୍ଥାପନ କରୁଛି। ସାଧାରଣତଃ ଦୁଇଟି ଗ୍ରୁପ୍ର ସାଇକୋଲୋଜିଷ୍ଟ ଅଛନ୍ତି। ଗୋଟେ ଅଛନ୍ତି ଆଚରଣବାଦୀ, ଗୋଟେ ବିହେଭିଓରୋଲୋଜିଷ୍ଟ, ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଅଛନ୍ତି ବୌଦ୍ଧିକବାଦୀ, କଗ୍ନିଟିଭ୍ ଅର୍ ଗେଷ୍ଟାଲ୍ଟ କଗ୍ନିଟିଭ୍ ସ୍କୁଲ୍ ଆଣ୍ଡ ବିହେଭିଅରାଲ୍ ସ୍କୁଲ୍। ଆଚ୍ଛା, ପ୍ରଥମେ ଦେଖିବା ଏ ଥିଓରିଜ୍, କେତେଟା ମେନ୍ ଥିଓରିଜ୍ ଅଛି। ଦେଖନ୍ତୁ, ଗୋଟେ ଟ୍ରାଏଲ୍ ଆଣ୍ଡ ଏରର୍ ଥିଓରି ଅଛି, ତାକୁ ଓଡ଼ିଆରେ କହୁଛନ୍ତି ପ୍ରଯତ୍ନ ପ୍ରମାଦ ତତ୍ତ୍ୱ, ଠିକ୍ ଅଛି। ଇଏ ହେଉଛି କଣ୍ଡିସନିଂ ଥିଓରି ଗୋଟେ, ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ହେଲା ଇନସାଇଟଫୁଲ୍ ଥିଓରି। ଆର ସବୁ ଓଡ଼ିଆ ମଧ୍ୟ ଅଛି, ୟୁ ଡି ନଟ୍ ନୋ ଦିସ୍ ଓଡ଼ିଆ ଟର୍ମସ୍, ଓକେ। ଆଚ୍ଛା, ଦେଖିବା ଏ ଯେଉଁ ଟ୍ରାଏଲ୍ ଆଣ୍ଡ ଏରର୍ ଥିଓରି, ଟ୍ରାଏଲ୍ ଆଣ୍ଡ ଏରର୍ ଥିଓରି otherwise called connectionism or association and associationism. From that part they have taken the question, okay, and this theory was developed, and the pioneer of this theory, E.L. Thorndike, American psychologist. He conducted an experiment on a cat, and let's discuss his observations, okay. And let's discuss the experiment part. He kept a hungry cat in a cage. Okay. And outside the cage, that stimulus was kept what? Dry fish, sukwa. In some books, they have written milk. But actually, for strong motivation, dry fish was kept just outside the cage. Okay. Now, the cat was strongly motivated. And the cat attempted to open the door. The cat took several trials. These are called wrong trials or called painful trials. After taking several trials, the cat arrived at a point where the cat pressed the lever and the cage opened and the cat could get the food. And here the learning takes place by eliminating the painful or wrong responses. How? In the second experiment, the cat, the number of wrong responses, was reduced considerably. And in the third experiment, and it was reduced to a limited number of wrong trials. Okay. So we learn by committing mistakes and eliminating wrong and painful responses, and finally we arrive at selecting or identifying the correct response how to do. And here a bond is formed, an association is formed, or a connection is formed between stimulus and response, what the question demands. So this is stimulus and response according to the trial and error theory, not actually all theories, which I'll discuss. Okay. From that experiment, Thorndike concluded 3 laws. Please read and take it down. First one is a law of readiness. Means if one is mentally ready due to strong motivation, then he practices, or actually he takes trials. Okay, or he takes attempts. Okay. So this is called law of exercise. For learning, first is motivation that creates mental readiness, or that generates mental readiness. And mental readiness ensures repetition of practice. Okay, or law of exercise. And if the response is positive, that is called law of use. If the response is negative, then the law of disuse. Let me give an example. So you are preparing for your OSST examination. So now you are actually practicing for more time, and you devote more time in different sections. Okay. And after the exam is over, then your practice is reduced. That is called law of disuse. Where there is no motivation or the motivation decreases, then the rate of practice also decreases. That is, it is based on law of use if it is positive, and if it is negative in no result. So law of use and law of disuse. There are two sub laws. And the law of effect. So the effect of one response, that positive effect, will enable the learner to practice the next one that we have already discussed. And what are the factors? What are the factors of learning? According to Thorndike, that is motivation for readiness, use of disuse, that is a law of exercise, a law of practice. The practice depends upon use if the result is positive, and disuse if the result is negative. And practice, repetition. The repetition means the repetition of a response that depends upon the readiness and the motivation and the goal. If the motivation is strong, you see the example is clear, because you are preparing for OSST exam and you devote actually 18 hours out of 24 hours for your study. And after the exam is over, perhaps actually no, you have no interest to practice. Okay, the law of disuse. And this experiment was conducted on a cat. And the question may be set. So, and you see, he was American. E.L. Thorndike was an American psychologist. Okay, now this part is clear. And this question is exclusively based on trial and error theory. Had it been, ଯଦି ସେମାନେ ଲେଖିପାରିଥାନ୍ତେ ଯେ according to trial and error theory, learning or connectionism indicator reveals is an association between stimulus and response. ଏଠି କିଛି ଅସୁବିଧା ନଥିଲା, stimulus and response. କାହିଁକିନା ଏଠି stimulus ଗୋଟିଏ ହେଲେ ଏଠି response ଗୋଟିଏ ହେବ। କିନ୍ତୁ ଆଚରଣ କହିଲେ ଆମର ବହୁତ ପ୍ରକାର ଆଚରଣ ହେଇପାରିବ। ତାଙ୍କୁ ମୁଁ ଟିକେ କେତେ ଏଠି ପ୍ରଶ୍ନ ପଚାରିବି। ଗୋଟେ ଅଛି stimulus free, ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ stimulus free, ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ stimulus bound। এটা କୁହାଯାଏ convergent, এটা କୁହାଯାଏ divergent। Stimulus is one, but response is only one, जोटा कि निर्दिष्ट उत्तरमूलक प्रश्न, ऑब्जेक्टिव क्वेश्चन कुहाଯାଏ। गोटे उद्दीपक एवं आचरण जुआड़े गले यूनिवर्सली इट इज एक्सेप्टेड ओनली वन, सेठी होची स्टिमुलस एंड रेस्पॉन्स। गोटे स्टिमुलस गोटे रेस्पॉन्स, एंड स्टिमुलस इज वन, responses are many. This is called divergent. It is called divergent. So one question, here is a question, here is an example. A piece of paper, write it several uses, write it different uses. Now the stimulus is one, actually the responses or the behavior, the responses are many. So now, so this is a good question, but this question has been wrongly set. Okay, now we shall discuss for your understanding another conditioning, another theory, that is conditioning. Okay, there are two kinds of conditioning. One is classical, another is instrumental, otherwise called operant conditioning. Okay, and classical conditioning was advocated by Russian psychologist Ivan Pavlov. Okay, and Pavlov conducted that experiment on a dog. Okay, and let's discuss his experiment and observations. Okay, for your understanding. Now we have presented a flow chart for your better understanding. Okay, here is a dog. Dog is an animal, that's why they have taken animal, because trial error theory conducted on an animal, that cat. And conditioning, classical conditioning, this experiment was conducted on a dog. And instrumental operant conditioning was conducted on a white rat or pigeon. And insightful learning was conducted monkey or chimpanzee. So you see, that's why they have actually taken the word animal to confuse. That is very good. Okay, but you see, classical conditioning was conducted by Ivan Pavlov, Russian psychologist. Experiment was conducted on a dog. Now you see dog, and before a dog, a food was presented. So food acts as unconditional stimulus or unconditioned stimulus. That is called natural stimulus. Okay, it is salivation, natural response. এই জায়গায় এটা হচ্ছে গোটে বায়োলোজিকাল, এটা হচ্ছে এই স্টিমুলস পাখে এ রেসপন্স, ফুড পাখে সালিভেশন, এই জায়গায় স্টিমুলস আন্ড রেসপন্স হব। ଖାଦ୍ୟ ଦେଖିଲା, ଖାଦ୍ୟ ଦେଉନାହାନ୍ତି, ପାଖକୁ ନେଉନାହାନ୍ତି, ଖାଦ୍ୟ ଦେଖିଲା ମାନେ ସେ ଦେଖିବ ପାଟିରୁ ଲାଳ ବହିଲା। ତେଣୁ ଏଠି ଖାଦ୍ୟ ହେଉଛି କ'ଣ ନା ଗୋଟେ ଉଦ୍ଦୀପକ, ନ୍ୟାଚୁରାଲ, এটা ହେଉଛି ସ୍ୱାଭାବିକ ଉଦ୍ଦୀପକ। ଏବଂ ସ୍ୱାଭାବିକ ପ୍ରତିକ୍ରିୟା କ'ଣ ହେଲା ନା ନ୍ୟାଚୁରାଲ ରେସପନ୍ସ, ସାଲିଭେସନ, ଲାଳ ଗଡ଼ିଲା। ବୁଝିହେଲା? Come to the next point. And dog, without presenting food, at the same time, suppose that actually 10 a.m. every day, this experiment was conducted by that psychologist. Only a bell, a ringing bell was rang. Okay, so he rang a bell, means the dog could listen the sound, but the dog could not see the food. The food was not presented. सी कहीं मुंड कान हल्लानी कहीं आखि भी हल्लानी मैंने अनैलानी छाड़ू गोटे तुम बा घंटी बाजू तो नो सालिवेशन नो रेस्पन्स आउ सी तार जमी शोची बस सी बेल साउंड थे तार कम कौन बा तार किसी कम नहीं यू सी डॉग एंड दिस इज ए स्टिमुलस not natural stimulus, that is unnatural stimulus, that is not natural stimulus, so no response. It actually, how beautifully he conducted the experiment. We are discussing, okay, we discuss here means according to a flow chart. So come to the third point. Now the same dog at the same time say एक समय food खाद्य एवं घंटी खाद्य रखागला कुकुर खाद्य को देखिला द डग कुड परसीव द फूड द नेचुरल स्टिमुलस एंड द अननेचुरल स्टिमुलस एवं शब्द भी शुणिला यही बर्तमान ये जो खाद्य आ शब्द मध्य गोटे समन्वय आस्ते आस्ते स्थापित है कौन ये बर्तमान प्रतिक्रिया कौन है सालिवेशन देखिले कौन लाड़ गड़ू ठीक अच्छे ताले लाड़ गड़ू बेल पाई नुहे आगे खाद्य पाई तेणु ये खाद्य फूड कौन अनकंडी नेचुरल स्टिमुलस एटा अनकंडीशन अननेचुरल स्टिमुलस स्टिमुलस शब्द शब्दर किसी काम ना किंतु साइमल्टेनियसली फूड एंड बेल साउंड प्रेजेंटेड बिफोर द डॉग एंड Pavlov observed salivation and this process was continued for a month, 2 months or 3 months or likewise. So after some months the food was withdrawn और खाद्य उपस्थापन करागला नहीं खाली से ही समय घंटीटा बाजिला कुकुर जानला कौन अच्छी खाद्य आउे बेल देख बेल शब्द शुणला माने तार सालिवेशन आरंभ होगा आपण कहतु बर्तमान ये क्या मध्य संबंध है ये जो बर्तमान फूड और बेल मध्य गोटे कंडीशन लगे गोटे संपर्क लगे स्थापन होगा बर्तमान ये कंडीशन अनकंडीशनल स्टिमुलस एटा हूँ गोटे कंडीशन स्टिमुलस आंक मध्य गोटे समन्वय बंध स्थापित होगा ये हूँ स्टिमुलस ये हूँ देखो स्टिमुलस रेस्पन्स भितर होना ये दुईटी स्टिमुलस भितर हूँ गोटे हूँ नेचुरल स्टिमुलस और गोटे हूँ अननेचुरल स्टिमुलस तांको मध्य गोटे समन्वय बंध स्थापित होती कनेक्शन और एसोसिएशन बॉन्ड गोटे कंडीशन बॉन्ड the condition bond between unconditioned stimulus and conditional stimulus. Okay, and this is called classical conditioning. एटी कहतु कौ बाटे भाव रेस्पन्स हो कहतु किंतु ये फूड एंड सालिवेशन तेणु प्रश्न पचार तरीका टिके भूल गड़बड़ कर देइछन्ती ये है आपणकर क्लासिकल कंडीशनिंग आउ गोटे तार पार्ट रही इंस्ट्रूमेंटाल और ऑपरेंट कंडीशनिंग तार ना कही दूची जे गोटे इंस्ट्रूमेंट गोटे व्यवहार कराइला सतरे व्यवहार कराइला आपको करते किए ना बीएफ स्किनर दिस एक्सपेरिमेंट वाज कंडक्टेड बाय बीएफ स्किनर अमेरिकन साइकोलॉजिस्ट ऑन ए व्हाइट रैट है अच्छा आंको एक्सपेरिमेंट टिके डिस्कशन कर दो फॉर योर अंडरस्टैंडिंग एंड कंपैरिजन एंड B.F. Skinner, he developed an instrumental box for a rat. Okay. And in that box, a white rat was kept. And there was a lever. And to press the lever means actually food, actually the rat could get the food. खाद्य गुड़ी को ऊपर रखा जाता food stuff was at the top. But it was not possible on the part of the rat to get the food unless it is opened. Okay. तेणु रैट जिते लिवर टी प्रेस कर दूसरा खाद्यटी पाखे पहुँच जाऊला ओके तेणु खाद्य जिते थर प्रेस कले खाद्य खाऊला जिते थर प्रेस कले खाद्य पड़ूला थर प्रेस कले खाद्य पाइला सो इट क्रिएटेड मोटिवेशन मीन्स द सिचुएशन वाज रिवार्डिंग एटी सी पाइला रिवार्ड पाइला कौन ना फूड नेचुरल स्टिमुलस बर्तमान पाइगला स्ट्रंग मोटिवेशन तेणु सी बारंबार 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 कौन कला ना से लिवर को प्रेस कला तेणु नंबर ऑफ रेस्पॉन्सेस increased because of the reward. Because of the reward. What the reward did the rat get? Actually, he got the food. Okay. Acha. Second experiment रे कौन कले सी इलेक्ट्रिफाइड कर देथिले से को प्रेस कले लिवर टाको टच कले रैट कौन करथला ते माइल्ड इलेक्ट्रिक शॉक पाइला तेणु कौन ला ये जो ताहले सी आउ थे डरी गिर गलानी ताको छुइला तो शॉक पाउची आउ तो टच कला माने हेटी को चलला शॉक पाउची एवं फ्लोर को मते इलेक्ट्रिफाइड कर देथिले सेटु से जीवा को डरला तो शॉक खाइबा जीव काई ताले कोन ला एटी ला पनिशमेंट यदि पनिशमेंट है तार आउ ट्रायल देखो आउ खाद्य पाइला कि पनिशमेंट है नंबर ऑफ रेस्पॉन्सेस डिक्रीज्ड तेणु ये कहले ये ऑपरेंट कंडीशन कौन कह इंस्ट्रूमेंट कंडीशन ये जो रैट बॉक्स रे सी कहले ये लर्निंग टेक्स प्लेस बाय रिवॉर्ड एंड पनिशमेंट एंड द लर्निंग इज द रिजल्ट ऑफ कॉन्सिक्वेंस ऑफ द बिहेवियर जिते से खाद्यटा पाउची इज मोटिवेटेड तार कॉन्सिक्वेंस कौन करुच्ची आउ थे जाऊँगी आउ थे प्रेस कर दूसरी फिर खुशी आउ थे प्रेस कर दूसरी व्हेन द रिवार्ड इज स्ट्रांग देन द नंबर ऑफ रिपीटेशन द नंबर ऑफ रेस्पॉन्सेस इज मोर सो इट इंक्रीजेस सो वी हैव एक्सपेरिमेंटेड वी हैव एक्चुअली डिस्प्लेड सम पॉइंट्स फॉर योर अंडरस्टैंडिंग प्रेसिंग द lever gets food positive reward increases the responses okay getting a mild shock, that is punishment, decreases the responses. Then what are the laws of learning he derived? What are the laws of learning he derived? This is called cause and effect relationship. If the cause is good and the effect is good, then the cause means the result. The result of the consequence means it actually motivates the animal to repeat its behavior, okay, to repeat its responses. Okay. The reward repetition of responses or behavior. If one gets reward, then the number of responses increases. If one gets punishment, the number of responses decreases. And the withdrawal of punishment, and if the punishment is withdrawn, say इलेक्ट्रिक शॉक बंद कर देले काढ़ीदे आउ से शक खाइला ना ताले कौन कर बर्तमान जी देखला शक लागू नहीं चलला फिर कौन द्वितीय थर तृतीय थर चला फिर कौन ना इनक्रीज इन रेस्पॉन्सेस जो पनिशमेंट विड्रे कर इनक्रीज इन रेस्पॉन्सेस एंड विड्रल ऑफ रिवार्ड जब रिवार्ड को विड्र कर जिते प्रेस कल मत खाद्य ना तार नो फुड स्टॉप तेणु नो क्वेश्चन ऑफ ड्रॉपिंग फुड तार कौन डिक्रीज इन रेस्पॉन्सेस तेणु ये को माने कनक्लूजन कौन हो रिवार्ड एंड पनिशमेंट आर द टू फैक्टर्स ऑफ लर्निंग से कथा कहूँ लर्निंग इज बेस्ड ऑन कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस कॉज एंड इफेक्ट रिवार्ड एंड पनिशमेंट ओके सो रिवार्ड एंड पनिशमेंट प्लेज ए वाइटल रोल इन द लर्निंग अकॉर्डिंग टू B.A. Skinner and all three Thorndike, Pavlov and Skinner they conducted their experiments on different animals relating to the animal behavior that is respond. Okay. तेणु ये कहीं उत्तर भी बिहेवियर न हो पार तेणु एम समस्त होती आचरणवादी आम बिहेवियरोलॉजिस्ट बोली कहूँ एम आचरणवादी आ गोटे बौद्धिकवादी से कहले ना ये लर्निंग पाई चिंतन दरकार बुद्धि दरकार एवं अवबोधन बोध शक्ति दरकार कौन अच्छी ना बहुविध चिंताधारा दरकार एवं गोटे होल पूर्ण होल सिचुएशन देखी तार पार्ट तार अंश मध्य जो संपर्क ताकू तनखी कर एस्टाब्लिश कर पार्ट एंड होल रिलेशनशिप ताहले शिक्षण संभव हो बोली ये इनसाइटफुल लर्निंग कहते आंकु किए कहते ये कॉग्निटिव स्कूल वाला कहते गेस्टाल्ट स्कूल ऑफ साइकोलॉजिस्ट ये इनसाइटफुल लर्निंग वाज कंडक्टेड बाय ए साइंटिस्ट कोहलर अमेरिकन साइकोलॉजिस्ट and it was conducted on a monkey or chimpanzee ବଣ ମଣିଷ ଯୋଉ କହୁଛି ବଣ ମାଙ୍କଡ଼. Okay, if you have visited Nandankanan you might have seen, okay, or any zoo, there are chimpanzees. ତେଣୁ ସେ କ'ଣ କରିଥିଲେ ये एक्सपेरिमेंट टिके आलोचना करदबा. Okay, a chimpanzee was kept in a cage, and at the top of cage means a cluster of banana, ମାନେ ଫେଣାଇ କଦଳୀ, ପାଚିଲା କଦଳୀ ସେଠି ଟଙ୍ଗା ଯାଇଥିଲା. A cluster of banana was kept at the top of the cage, and it was beyond the reach of the animal to get the food. And the food creates what? Motivation. How to get it? Now the chimpanzee is worried, the monkey is worried to get the banana. So here behavior doesn't play a role. So what he observed, he conducted the experiment. He kept, actually the Kohler had kept some sticks, some short sticks. Okay. Suddenly, that chimpanzee could get an idea. That is called sudden thought. Okay. And sudden thought means he understood that the animal understood the situation, looked the whole situation, and how to solve the situation, because the situation is a problem now. So how to solve this problem? Okay. So chimpanzee can't call what he did. He joined two sticks. Now it became longer. Oh, he got the idea. Now he joined three sticks. Okay. And very simply, the chimpanzee could push the banana and could get it. So you see a part, and first part, second part, and third part. So a long. So you see the long stick now is formed, and this is one part, second part, and third part. And the chimpanzee could visualize that, could establish the relationship between part and whole relationship. ଆପଣ ମାନେ ତ ମୋତେ ପଢ଼ାଉଥିବେ ପଜଲ ବକ୍ସ, ଗୋଟେ ଆନିମଲ ଡିଫରେଣ୍ଟ ପାର୍ଟସ୍ କରିଦିଆଗଲା, ପିଲା କହିଲା ଆରେଞ୍ଜ କରି ସେ ଆନିମଲଟି କରନ୍ତୁ. So looking at the whole and observing the relationship or establishing the relationship, part and whole, so one can get an idea how to solve the problem. The puzzle is a problem, puzzle box, that actually meant for your Montessori children. Okay, so there are key points. What are the key points? We have already discussed what is insight. So insight means a sudden thought. Okay. It is called, all of a sudden it comes. It comes as a lightning fast. That is called creativity. You see, we have mentioned here, the situation is a problematic situation. What is a problem? The problem is a dark situation to which the clue is not known, or the way how to solve is not known. Okay. And what is insight? That is sudden thought that comes as a lightning flash. And it is based on critical thinking, general thinking, and critical thinking, because it is called problem solving. Critical thinking leads to problem solving. And to establish part and whole relationship. And the cognition plays a vital role, means learning and understanding the situation. To understand the situation and to think critically and to establish the pattern of relationship and to find out the solution. Let me give an example. An arithmetic problem, word problem. ପିଲାମାନେ ଦେଖନ୍ତୁ, ଆପଣମାନେ ଥରିଏ ପଢ଼ିବେ, no. You read the question once, twice and thrice. Now you fragment it. ତାକୁ ଛୋଟ ଛୋଟ ଖଣ୍ଡ କରିଦିଅନ୍ତୁ. ଯେଉଁ ୱାର୍ଡ଼ ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମଟିକୁ ଛୋଟ ଛୋଟ ଖଣ୍ଡ କରିଦିଅନ୍ତୁ, ମାନେ ଅଂଶରେ କରିଦିଅନ୍ତୁ. ଗୋଟେ ପାର୍ଟର ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ପାର୍ଟ ସହିତ କେଉଁ ପାର୍ଟ ସହିତ ସମ୍ପର୍କ ଅଛି ତାକୁ ନିର୍ଣ୍ଣୟ କରନ୍ତୁ. ତାପରେ ତାକୁ ଫେର ହୋଲ୍ କରିଦିଅନ୍ତୁ. ଦେଖିବେ ଆପଣଙ୍କର ଉପାୟ ପାଇଯିବେ to establish an equation or to get or to know the clue how to solve the problem. So, to fragment a problematic situation makes the problem a task and easier within your easy reach to find out the clue how to solve the problem. ତେଣୁ ଇଏ ହେଉଛି ଆଜିର ଆଲୋଚନା ଆମର ଶିକ୍ଷଣ ତତ୍ତ୍ୱ ଉପରେ ଆଧାରିତ କିଛି ଆଲୋଚନା ଯାହାକି ଏଇ ପ୍ରଶ୍ନ ସମ୍ପର୍କିତ। ଇଏ ତ କିମ୍ଭୂତ କିମ୍ବାକାର ପ୍ରଶ୍ନ ଆଜ୍ଞା। ଆମେ କହୁନା ପ୍ରଶ୍ନ ଭୁଲ ଅଛି ବୋଲି, ପ୍ରଶ୍ନରେ ଯେଉଁ ତ୍ରୁଟି ଅଛି ସେ ବାବୁ ଜାଣିନାହାନ୍ତି କି ଯେ ଅଜଣାରେ ଅଛନ୍ତି ବା କି ଖାମଖିଆଲି ଭାବରେ ପ୍ରସ୍ତୁତ କରିଛନ୍ତି। ଲର୍ଣ୍ଣିଂ ଇଜ୍ ଏନ୍ ଆସୋସିଏସନ୍ ବିଟୱିନ୍ ଷ୍ଟିମୁଲସ୍ ଆଣ୍ଡ ବିହେଭିଅର ବି ହେଇପାରିବ, ପାଷ୍ଟ ଏକ୍ସପିରିଏନ୍ସ ହେଇପାରିବ, ରେସ୍ପନ୍ସ ହେଇପାରିବ। କିନ୍ତୁ ଷ୍ଟିମୁଲସ୍ ଆଣ୍ଡ ରେସ୍ପନ୍ସ କାହିଁକି ହେବ ତାର ଆମେ ବିସ୍ତୃତ ଆଲୋଚନାରୁ ଆପଣମାନେ ମଧ୍ୟ ଯୁକ୍ତି ଉପସ୍ଥାପନ କରିପାରିବେ। ଷ୍ଟିମୁଲସ୍ ରେସ୍ପନ୍ସ କେଉଁ କ୍ଷେତ୍ରରେ ହେବ, ଯେଉଁଠି ଗୋଟେ ବାୟୋଲୋଜିକାଲ ଡ୍ରାଇଭ୍ ଅଛି, ଖାଦ୍ୟ ଦେଖିଲା ତ ଲାଳ ବହିବ, ଏଇଟା ହେଉଛି ଅନକଣ୍ଟ୍ରୋଲ ରିଫ୍ଲେକ୍ସ। ଖାଦ୍ୟ ଦେଖିଲା ତ ଲାଳ ବହିବ, ଖଟା ଖାଇଲା ମାନେ ତ ଲାଳ ବହିବ। ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ଇଜ୍ ନଟ୍ ଲର୍ଣ୍ଣିଂ, ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ଇଜ୍ ନଟ୍ ଲର୍ଣ୍ଣିଂ। ଏଇଠୁ ଆମେ ଏଠି ମଧ୍ୟ ମନା କରିଦେଇଛୁ ରିଫ୍ଲେକ୍ସ ଆକ୍ସନ୍। এটা হচ্ছে ইনভଲ୍ୟୁଣ୍ଟାରୀ ଅନକଣ୍ଟ୍ରୋଲ, ତାକୁ ଆପଣ କଣ୍ଟ୍ରୋଲ କରିପାରୁନାହାନ୍ତି। ଆପଣ ହୃତ୍ପିଣ୍ଡ ସ୍ପନ୍ଦନ ଅଛି, ଆପଣ ବନ୍ଦ କରିଦେଇପାରିବେ? ଆପଣ ଡାଇଜେସନକୁ ଆପଣ ବନ୍ଦ କରିଦେଇପାରିବେ? ଆପଣ ଆଖି ଯେଉଁ ପଲକ ପାରିବେ ତାକୁ ବନ୍ଦ କରିଦେଇପାରିବେ? କଣ୍ଟା ଫୁଟିଗଲେ ହାତ ଉଠି ଆସୁଛି, ବନ୍ଦ କରିବେ? ମଶା କାମୁଡ଼ିଲା ବେଳକୁ ହାତ ବାଡ଼ି ହାତ ପଳେଇ ଯାଉଛି, ଆଉ ବନ୍ଦ କରିଦେବେ? ଏଗୁଡ଼ା ହେଉଛି ଆଚରଣ ବା ଲର୍ଣ୍ଣିଂ ନଟ୍ ରିଲେଟେଡ୍ ଟୁ ଲର୍ଣ୍ଣିଂ। ତେଣୁ ଖାଦ୍ୟ ଦେଖିବା, ଲାଳ ଗଡ଼ିବା, ତାଙ୍କ ମଧ୍ୟରେ ଗୋଟେ ସମ୍ପର୍କ ସ୍ଥାପନ ହେଉଛି, ତାକୁ ସେଇପାଇଁ କଣ୍ଡିସନିଂ କୁହାଗଲା। ଏ କଣ୍ଡିସନିଂ ବଣ୍ଡ ଇଜ୍ ଏଷ୍ଟାବ୍ଲିଶ ବିଟୱିନ୍ ଫୁଡ୍ ଆଣ୍ଡ ବେଲ୍। ତେଣୁ ସେ ବନ୍ଧୁକୁ ମଧ୍ୟ ଏଠି ପ୍ରଶ୍ନ ଅଛି, ତାହେଲେ ଷ୍ଟିମୁଲସ୍ ଫ୍ରି ଆଣ୍ଡ ଷ୍ଟିମୁଲସ୍ ବାଉଣ୍ଡ ପ୍ରଶ୍ନ କ'ଣ? ତା ମଧ୍ୟ ଜଳ କରି କହିଦେବ ଯେ ଷ୍ଟିମୁଲସ୍ ବାଉଣ୍ଡ ମିନ୍ସ ଗୋଟିଏ ଉତ୍ତର, ନିର୍ଦ୍ଦିଷ୍ଟ ଉତ୍ତର, ଯୁଆଡ଼େ ଯିବ ମଧ୍ୟ, wherever universally it is accepted only one, there is no answer, okay, that is stimulus bound. ଖାଦ୍ୟ ଦେଖିଲେ ଲାଳ ଗଡ଼ୁନଥିଲା, କ'ଣ ରକ୍ତ ଝରିଥିଲା? ସିଏ ଖାଦ୍ୟ ସେ ଦେଖିଲା, କୁକୁର ଖାଦ୍ୟ ଦେଖିଲା, ସେ ଲାଳ ନ ଗଡ଼େଇ କ'ଣ କରିଥାନ୍ତା? ଆଚ୍ଛା ହଉ, ଏଇଟା ଆମେ ସମାପ୍ତ କରିବା। ଏଇଟା ହେଉଛି ଷ୍ଟିମୁଲସ୍ ଫ୍ରି। ଷ୍ଟିମୁଲସ୍ ଫ୍ରି ମିନ୍ସ ଡାଇଭରଜେଣ୍ଟ, ବିକ୍ଷିପ୍ତ ଚିନ୍ତନ, ଏଠି ବିକ୍ଷିପ୍ତ ଆଚରଣ ବା ବହୁମୁଖୀ ଚିନ୍ତନ। ଏଠି ଷ୍ଟିମୁଲସ୍ ବାଉଣ୍ଡ ମିନ୍ସ convergent, converge to a point, but divergent means from one point it diverges from many directions. Now actually this is the diagram, this is the convergent, and here the stimulus. Now you see this is the convergent, now you see this is the divergent thinking. ତେଣୁ ସେ ବନ୍ଧୁକୁ ଏଠି ପ୍ରଶ୍ନ ଯେ ଷ୍ଟିମୁଲସ୍ ଆଣ୍ଡ ବିହେଭିଅର କାହିଁକି ହେଇପାରିବ ନାହିଁ, ଷ୍ଟିମୁଲସ୍ ଆଣ୍ଡ ପାଷ୍ଟ ଏକ୍ସପିରିଏନ୍ସ କାହିଁକି ହେବ ନାହିଁ? ତେଣୁ ଏଗୁଡ଼ିକୁ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଚୟନ କରାଯାଏ, ବହୁତ ସତର୍କତାର ସହିତ ଚୟନ କରାଯାଏ, ଯାହାଫଳରେ ଆର କେବଳ ଗୋଟିଏ ଉତ୍ତର, ନିର୍ଦ୍ଦିଷ୍ଟ ଉତ୍ତର ଆସିବ। ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ଆମେ ଦେଖୁଛୁ ତିନୋଟି ଉତ୍ତର ପ୍ରାୟ ହେଇଯାଉଛି। ତେଣୁ ଇଏ ହେଉଛି ଆଜିର ଆଲୋଚନା। ଆଶା କରେ ଏଥିରୁ ଆପଣମାନଙ୍କୁ ଏ ଉପାଦେୟ ତଥ୍ୟ ଆପଣ ପାଇପାରିବେ। ଆଣ୍ଡ ୟୁଅର କନସେପ୍ଟ on the chapter learning and theory of learning and the different experiments conducted by different psychologists, behavioral psychologists and cognitive psychologists, you might have understood, and it would be very useful in your from your examination point of view. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned to watch our next video. If you have any doubt and any feedback, any suggestion, any opinion, you feel free, please feel free to write in your comment box. We shall comply to your doubts, and we shall try our best to make our presentation lucid for your better understanding. And if you like, you may subscribe to our channel and share. Thank you for watching.